Hey everyone, this is Adrian, the tech on your side. I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe in this COVID-19 that we're present, all of us in. I was a bit hesitant to make this video because the car is repaired and it's gone, but yet there's so much information that I learned from this vehicle that I hope it helps you out, okay? So this is what I was dealing with. It's a 2008 Tundra 5.7, 8th VIN is a 1. These are the diagnostic symptom that I retrieved from the Hvac, diagnostic trouble code, excuse me, on the driver's side. So the symptom that customer had was two things. This is the AC control head. It's not the automatic, it is the manual. When I turn the key on engine off or key on engine running, the light here, this control head would not turn on until after like 20-30 seconds, and it would do that intermittently. What I had is on the passenger side, I had hot air. On the driver's side, I had cold air when I changed the blend temperature all the way to hot. The driver's side will never change. When I initially looked at this, because my friend brought this truck a week later, I'm going to just describe that. Pretend I'm sitting in the car in this 2008 Tundra, and to my right side on the lower panel of this right here, just right here, you will find this component right here. They call this a dampener servo. On the passenger side, you have actuators that you can replace. Why they didn't do that on the driver's side, I don't know, but you can replace these individually. Again, these actuators all belong to this unit. I just took this apart. So it was actually moving and working. When he brought it into me and as I was inspecting this was no longer working. It would not move. So I took the glove box on the passenger side. I took off the kick panel and some things, because what I did is inside here, you can take a vent off and you can actually put a video scope, and you can do the same on the passenger side. When I moved the controls here, I could see the doors moving. I didn't see anything broken, I should say. When I went on this side, I stuck my video scope in there. I didn't see any broken doors. But as my head was here low and checking things just right here, I could feel the hot air. So that kind of gave me an indication. I almost felt like I don't think the heater core's plugged, because what can happen is the heater core can partially plug on the driver's side, and then you'll have really lukewarm air. But I didn't even have lukewarm air. It was cold. So my next step is I hooked up a scope, my DSO, and I looked at the actuator on the passenger side. Now, what you'll find is the wires come off the AC amplifier that are around this area behind the glove box. And what happens is it connects to the actuator, but they're all connected in series. You'll just see wire connected here. It'll piggyback to another one, et cetera, all the way to the driver's side. So what I found on this actuator with the scope was the same on the driver's side here. So that told me that the wiring integrity, the pack of information that was being sent looked similar to the one on the passenger side. I could see a change in the pack. So I ended up ordering this from the factory and installing. Now the other, I was sharing that this would not turn on. It would take like 20 seconds, 30 seconds until it turned on, which wasn't normal. Well, service information was telling me if I have a bad actuator, that can cause that symptom. But the service information says to unplug each actuator, turn it off, unplug an actuator, turn the key on. And if this lights up almost immediately, then you found your bad actuator. Well, I disconnected these bad actuators, and still this light did not come on. It was just acting really strange. What I will tell you is with these new actuators here, this lights up immediately. Why it didn't do it before, I don't know. So this is the symptom that I had. Now, I just want you to use your imagination here and pretend this is a new actuator that came from the dealer. And this is how it's positioned. You see the two notches here meeting, and this half moon was actually facing right about there. That's how it came new. This is the old one. And so what I did with the old one is I completely took it apart. I was thinking I was going to find sheared gears here. I've already taken both of these apart, completely disassembled this, and I found nothing visibly broken, right? I even flipped it back here, and the gear that's in here, I removed it and flipped it over to look at the copper circular strips where these ride on. I didn't find anything wrong. So the way I installed this, now I want you to look here, because the installation instructions aren't very hard at all, really. Position this door all the way down. There is a notch here on this door, on this gear here, that needs to be right at this arrow. It's like, you know, timing, putting a time belt on, really. This right here must be pushed all the way up. This door right here must be pushed down. I positioned this door incorrectly 2 times, okay? But what I want to share with you is there's a door here that bolts onto this piece right here. You can't see it in the picture, and it sticks out. Okay, with this door, what I did is I pushed that all the way up. Now it's a door that goes right across here. Let me see if I can get a pin or something that would help to illustrate this much better. So I want this to be as clear as possible. So there is a, let's say the door is right here. The arm, I should say. I need to stop calling it a door because I don't want to confuse anyone. Great. There we go. And it's right about here. This is where it sits, right there, okay? This right here, pretend this is the arm. I pushed this all the way up till it bottomed out. This I pushed all the way down, and you notice how this arm here curves over this. You got to be sure that that curves over. That was my mistake. Okay, when you're installing this, I tried to install this on the car complete with the actuators on. It was a no-go for me. I imagine someone who's done these many times probably wouldn't have any issue. There is a tab in here. You see that tab where my light? Gosh, let me see with the pin. You see that tab right there where I'm pointing out with the tip of the pin right there? There's a tab you have to push in. As you're pushing in, the back of that, you're taking your fingers and pulling on the actuator. When you see it just getting past the tab, you can push it in with the pocket screwdriver and pull it out. I had to remove this gear, and as you can see, there is a notch right here. And on this notch right here, this notch right here goes into that notch right there. And so after this was installed in that area right here, right? Let's just say that that's installed on the car. I then took this apart and I took this gear out. So I put this in. This right here, I'm gonna turn it over and all the gears are gonna fall out, okay? But what I did, this actuator was still installed. This one was removed, okay? And again, this doesn't move freely because this gear actually stays in here. Excuse me. This gear actually is attached to here with that actuator, so this doesn't move at all. This does move, which is still not a problem. When you take this and you install this, right? After you get this and you install it into the vehicle, let's say like this, right? This is in the vehicle. There's a couple things that I will share with you. I had to reach in and with my finger pushing this door, right? This arm, I'm sorry, I keep saying door, but this arm, I used my right hand and I pushed it all the way up. You see, I pushed it in that up position where this arrow is pointing to. That's what I did to get this door in. And it actually went in fairly easy. You also got to keep your eye on this door right here. This, excuse me, not door. This arm right here is pushed down because it goes into here. Now, when this is on, I will tell you when it's on, it sits flush to the vehicle. There is no excessive rocking. If you're getting rocking, you haven't got this in correctly, okay? Now, let's say that I get this in, but this gear has moved a bit. With the gear that I stole from this, I insert it into here, and you can move this. This will actually move. And I've centered it, put the motor in, the actuator, excuse me, bolted it on, and then you have these right here that you have to screw in. The trick to this one right here, because I saw recommendations to drilling a hole on the metal brace that actually covers this. The two tools that I used that helped me to remove that were that tool and this tool. This is an easy red. There's a part number. And this one right here is the brand name. This is the one that I actually got it. Put a Phillips into it, and I was able to work it out without having to drill anything. For me, drilling something, especially where that is at, is a liability for me as a shop owner, and I just don't think it just wasn't needed. So after I did this, I put this back in. You could use your scanner to initialize these doors. That step is required when the battery is removed. It can lose its memory. I will tell you this. The moment I turned the key on and I had all these doors set, remember this is my third attempt because I wasn't setting this arm correctly. But then after I finally set it right, this arm right here, the one I had to scratch in with my pin, was all the way in that up position. And this thing went in flush. And you'll know when it's flush because it has no movement. It is in there firm. The other times where I did install it and it wasn't that firm, I moved the motors, nothing broke. It just jammed and it stopped working. But when I had it already synchronized, as you see it here and I've shown you, this code immediately left and everything worked perfectly. So I'm sharing this with you because at least from this 2009 manual control head, I didn't need to initialize these doors with the scanner. I think that's it. The car is fixed, it's gone, it works well. And yes, the heater works, all the door positions work, defrost, face, feet, all of that works. So I hope this helps someone out there. It was a bit of a head scratcher for me, but we got it done. We'll see you, take care.